Hi friends, how are you? Welcome or welcome back to my channel, and of course today we are doing another one of our dramione fanfiction recommendation. I want to do a mini study with you guys today. I want to tell you guys about all the details that I love in dramione fanfictions. These are the details that I go crazy whenever it pops up in the story that I'm reading, and I also feel like these are the details that the whole fandom collectively decided that are dramiones, and we hoard these details for ourselves. So I want to share those details with you guys today, and of course sharing the fanfiction where you can find those details. But I just wanted to let you know beforehand that we will be talking more about the details than the stories. I will only give you guys a list of names where you guys can find those details. You guys can just screenshot this video and save for later. But let's get started. Of course, I feel like we cannot start this video off without mentioning the name. If you're a dramione fan, I feel like you know exactly what I'm talking about. Whenever they start Dracoing and Hermioneing each other, you know something's about to go down, maybe somebody is about to go down, but you know that the climax is coming. To me, the name thing is one of the details where a lot is said without saying anything at all. Whenever they start Dracoing and Hermioneing each other, to me it feels like they put a lot of their emotion, their feelings behind just the name. And because we know that they are very different, their background is different, and there's always that pure blood and Muggle-born thing. So whenever they get on that kind of first name basis with each other, I feel like they are level setting and they are heading toward like a new chapters or like a new level in their relationship. And so even though the name thing must have come up like once in all the fanfiction that we have read, it still has such a tremendous effect on me that every time they start Draco or Hermioneing each other, I lost my mind, like every time. And it doesn't matter how many times it's repeated in the fanfiction, I feel like I always love that details. And on the other hand, I feel like we collectively decide that Draco cannot call Hermione anything else except Granger in like less emotionally challenged moment. Such an expensive details that I always cherish. And because we're doing a study, that was my argument. Now I'm gonna give you guys some example. The first example, Medical by Selling You. I didn't really fall in love with the story while I was reading it until the moment Hermione's go, "Don't die, Draco." I have no idea why, but those simple words had such an effect on me that it kind of launched Medical from like a casual read to one of my favorite story ever. And the second example is In Reverse by Tweet a Peach. In this story, even though they have already married and Hermione take his name, Draco's always call her Granger, and she always correct him and say it's Malfoy now, and he say damn right it is. And that was some of my favorite moments or details ever in all the dramione fanfiction that I have read. Those are some of my favorite moments when it comes to the name with Hermione. I feel like if you want to read more story about the name detail, you could just pull up any dramione fanfiction and you will get to see that name detail in there. But I want to give you guys some of the example where the whole plot line kind of revolve around their first name basis situation. And we have two stories. The first one is First Name Basis by Santa, and the second one is Say My Name by Nicolai. Now we are moving on to the second details, and I feel like this is on par with the name detail, and that is the hair. Like I have shared earlier, it seems like the subject of our obsession, Draco and Hermione, are very different. He is like the embodiment of the pure blood, and she is the poster girl of Muggle-born. She's always known for her fire, while he's as cold as the ice. And we love them for that enemy to lover elements, and so we always want to highlight like the differences between them. So in this case, the hair is just as important as the name to their identities, and we have to agree that they are very prideful individual when it comes to themselves. They are not willing to give up what defines them. And so I feel like when they fall in love with the hair or like the name of the other person, it seems like I am falling in love with you and awe of you type of situation. And so it's always make me go crazy. And just very similar to the name thing, the hair thing, even though it's just such a repeated details in Dramione, I feel like it's such an important details that you cannot get over. You pull out any kind of Dramione fanfiction, the hair thing will probably come up at least once. I promise you, they will mention his platinum hair and her bushy brunette hair. But like I say, I lost my mind over these details, no matter how many times I've seen it in dramione fanfiction. And here are some of my examples to back up my claim. The first one, we have also Medical by Selling You, because we know that this is the pillar of dramione fanfictions. In this story, we have them getting drunk together in the safe house. Mind you, there's a war going on outside. They're in the safe house, but they are not at all safe, like from all the threats around them. But he still has the time to go, I want to see your hair. I remember your hair from school. What is that, Draco? Why do you want to see her hair in the middle of the war? My second example is also In Reverse by Tweet a Peach. If you have read this story before, you know that their whole relationship kind of starts based off of their hair, and it's like something that they love so much about each other that it always come up, you know, in the relationship over the years. And I adore that detail and that story. If you haven't read In Reverse by Sweetie Peach, what are you doing? My next example is one of the detail that I love so much about Sweetly Broken by Lady Kenzie 347. In this story, Hermione cuts Draco hair. And to me, the hair cutting alone is a very sentimental thing, but when you apply Dramione here, it kind of intensifies the effect by 10 times, and it's one of those details that make me love Sweetly Broken so much, and it's, you know, on my top 10 favorite list for a reason. In the same line, we kind of have a similar detail in Drought of Dreams. In this story, Draco spit gum into Hermione's hairs, and part of their probation, or like part of the punishment, is that he has to wash the gum out of her hair. And to me, that detail is not only just unique, it was also very sentimental in some kind of way. I feel like all the normal details about hair, it's already very sentimental. Maybe that's just me, but when you slap Hermione onto it, I just lost my mind. And here are some of the story where you can find the hair details on repeat. We have In Reverse by Sweetie Peach and Drought of Dream by Salt and Red. The next detail we have Amortentia. I feel like I cannot not mention Amortentia in a Dramione detail story because I have shared a couple times before. Amortentia scene in the 6th movie, the Half-Blood Prince, is the starting point of all of my Dramione obsession. To me, there was just so much subtext, so much underlying message going on in that scene with the way that she described her scents that she smelled her Amortentia and his glare. I find all of that very suspicious, and you cannot really tell me that it's not about Dramione. I feel like the logic behind my first two details kind of apply here as well. Amortentia to me is kind of just another way of saying that I love every part of you, and the sense of you kind of make me lose my mind. I also love Amortentia details in the sense that we know our lovebirds love to defy their feelings for each other. They love to not admit the feeling for each other. So I feel like the Amortentia is a catalyst of feelings for them. When you realize that your Amortentia doesn't smell like the person who you think it's supposed to smell like, that to me is a whole plot line already. I don't know about you, but in real life, I'm also a really scent person. I associate scents with like the person that I love, places that I have visited, and the memories that bring me happiness. So the whole idea of Amortentia to me is kind of like everything that you love bottled up in a bottle of perfume. And maybe I'm projecting, but if we have that in real life for real, like I pay good money for it, you know. And so that's why I really cherish or adore the Amortentia details in Dramione. And I know that Amortentia is also one of the details that kind of come up pretty often in Dramione. But if you want to read story primarily just about Amortentia and the lovebirds figuring out who the Amortentia smell like, I got you. We have Nonsense by In Dreams by Sage by Mini Sunstay, and All's Well That End Well to End Up With You by Another Lonely Writer. And the last details we have the piano, and I absolutely love it whenever I see the piano in Dramione story because of two reasons. The first reason being that while we talk a lot about the differences that they have in the first three details, I feel like the piano kind of highlight the shared experience between Draco and Hermione. As a society, we kind of associate the piano with the upper class, with old money aesthetics, and Draco is nothing if not the old money aesthetics. But on the other hand, we also have Hermione growing up with dentist parents who own their own practice. So it's very appropriate that Hermione knows how to play the piano, right? And so I absolutely lose my mind whenever they realize that while everybody and even ourselves are convincing that we are very different from each other, we actually have some shared experience. I absolutely lost it whenever they get to play the piano together in some of the fan fictions. And I know that we said we're not gonna bash Ron just because he ends up with Hermione in canon. I love it even more when Ron is in the picture and Ron realized that despite everything that he and Hermione share, there are still something that Draco and Hermione share and he doesn't have that. Shit. Guys, so let's hope this turns out the same with the other videos. And the second reason why I absolutely love the pianos in Dramione story is that I feel like Draco is really bad when it comes to expressing his feeling and his emotion. So having him using music, playing the piano as a way to communicate with the world and a way to express himself is just very fitting. And I love it even more that Hermione knows how to listen to his music and listen to him via his music. And me as a reader, I have always feel more connected to the character of Draco than Hermione's. And so I am very biased, but I love it when story kind of portray his childhood. And you know, despite every flashy thing that you see on the outside, he is actually just a very lonely child growing up in a really big mansions with actually really small love. And so him playing the piano as a way to like cope with all the loneliness that he had. It just absolutely hit home with me, and so I just adore, you know, piano playing Draco stories in the Dramione fandom. And of course I'm going to share you guys some of the best piano story that I have ever read. But promise me, before you open those videos, make sure you have some kind of piano playlist going on in the background, because these stories are just going to be intense for you with that music in the background. And I promise you, the experience of reading these stories are going to be irreplaceable for you for a long time. So be ready. First, we have some of my favorite one-shot ever. David Nere by Benedict, Our Flavor Names and Color Sound by Pink Panda, Notes of Melancholy by Dark of the Moon, and Burying the Dead by Can't Touch This. And that is the end of my first Dramione details video. Of course I'm going to make more videos like this because I love talking Dramione with you guys. And what is a better way to discuss Dramione than going down to the details that we see in the story. Let me know what you guys feel about this video. Let me know if you guys have read some of the recommendations here and feel good about it, feel bad about it. I would love to hear your opinions. And I will see you guys in the next video.